What's up everyone, my name is Ation Mitihepi and welcome to the recap video for week 2 of the Smosh Summer Games Wild West tournament. Now before I continue on with coverage of week 2's competition, I realized that when I was filming and editing week 1 of the recap videos, I realized I didn't give a explanation of what this series is all about. So let me explain before I continue. Now there are two reasons why I've created and I'm doing this series. Reason one is that earlier in the year when Smosh Winter Games was going on, I had the idea of creating a talk show or a recap kind of series in which I just glossed over the highlights of each of the week's competitions, and I won't go into full detail about it because I mainly explained all of it back in the video when I tested it out and tried it out and see what you guys thought about it. If you want to check it out, the link is down in the description box below. But as I mentioned in that explanation, reason 2 is because I wanted to create a talk show kind of recap environment, as well as create a series where people who can't necessarily commit to watching the many minutes of the competition, they can just click on this video, get a general highlight of what the week's competition was like, and then go on a day. Or if it's not enough, they can just go and check out Smosh's second channel and Smosh Games and check out the entire videos in its entirety. Now after the first week of the competition, both the Randy Bandits and the Cowbaes have a point each. What's going to happen next? Well, you're about to find out when we jump into the recap of week 2 of the Smosh Summer Games Wild West tournament. Now the first challenge for the second week of the competition was the Sarsaparilla Slide. Sarsaparilla. There. It's on screen right now. Now the aim of the game is that each team member had to collect and slide a mug full of beer across the table, with another team member at the end of the table having to catch it with one hand once the mug is completely off the table. From there they will dump the contents into their buckets and hope that they will collect the most liquids for their team within the time range. After 2 rounds, the team with the most collected liquids wins. Now because of the fact that this challenge was more of a team performance thing than an individual performance, I couldn't really pick out who performed the best and who performed the worst. But in regards to the style round, which was the second round, I could easily pick out Flitz being the best of them all, because he obviously had a lot of flair and style. Even when he failed, he put a lot of effort into it. I mean, come on. Come on. As opposed to the person who performed the weakest, I would say Joven, only because that he kind of attempted some questionable techniques, and I commend him for his creativity and his courage to try it out. But if he had even performed it with a bit of flair and effort, I think you would have done better. Obviously, there are a lot of people that could have picked, but the reason why I picked Joven is because he performed the least best in regards to everyone who kind of just ended up performing the same thing quite a couple of times, as opposed to Joven and Flitz doing kind of their own thing, but with varying results. But the winners for that challenge by about an inch or so were the Cowbaes. The next challenge in week 2 of the competition was belly flop, Old West style. Now just like in the competition back in the previous Summer Games, each person had to basically perform a pun and a belly flop, in which they were judged and scored by the sheriffs of the competition based on 3 categories: the creativity of their pun before their belly flop, overall style, and of course the belly flop itself. Team with the highest amount of points wins. Now it should be noted that neither Olivia or Bose competed in this competition, mainly for the same reason that I don't think would compete in this competition, because neither of them can swim. So at least it was even in that sense, 6 to 6. For the strongest performer, there were quite a few contenders, in my opinion, for that title, for that challenge. There was Courtney for her literally death-defying flop.
Oh my God!
And then there was Damien for his outstanding pun.
What do you call it when Snoop Dogg falls over in the desert in the middle of the day? What?
He's being the mannequin.
A tumbleweed at high noon.
But hands down, the person who I believe performed the best at that challenge was Flitz. Not only because he got a perfect score of 30 out of 30, but because his piece wasn't just a simple like formula, you know, pun, run, flop. He incorporated it into one and it flowed with each other, you know. It was an act, it was a piece, it was creative. So that's who I believe is the best performer for that challenge. Now, as for the weakest performer, or in this case the literal flop, there were a few contenders. One that springs to mind was Keith, for basically losing points for his team after taunting Sheriff Wyatt Scissor with the hashtag command. But hands down, just like giving Flitz their best performance, in my opinion, the worst or the literal flop, it has to go to West, because it was too bad. And I'm sorry if you are a Westling, but you have to agree with me on some part. I mean, not only did he stumble quite a few times in his rap and even forgot to prep Shane on his role, when he went to quickly memorize the lyrics in all of his rap, someone from the opposition came in and practically stole his spotlight. And the fact that he did on the spot really says something. And I'm sorry again, but if, like I said with Joven in the previous challenge, you know, if you're gonna do it with flair and creativity, or just don't do it at all. I didn't really say that, but I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But the winners with a difference of 31 points was the Randy Bandits with 152 points, with the Cowbaes 121. Now, after week 2 of the Smosh Summer Games Wild West tournament, the score is as such. It is still a tied game with both the Randy Bandits and the Cowbaes having 2 points each. What's going to happen when we jump into week 3 of the competition? Well, you have to check that out in the next video. But until then, that is all I have for you guys for this video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comment section below. Is there any person that you personally believe should have gotten best performance or the worst performance for a particular challenge? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you're interested in the kind of content I create, which includes skits, vlogs, challenges, recap videos and whatnot, I highly suggest considering subscribing to my channel. If you want to check out the video where I recap week 3 of the Smosh Summer Games Wild West tournament, you can click on this video right here. Or if you want to check out the entire playlist to all the videos relating to the Smosh Summer Games Wild West tournament, including non-competitive ones, you can click on this link right here. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!